Northern pastors meet President Muhammadu Buhari over increasing rate of insecurity. In business, federal government seeks partnership with Ukraine to strengthen trade relations. On the foreign scene, Syrian government forces to recapture remaining rebel stronghold in eastern Ghouta. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen's flagship news, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adinke Owoye Ajiboye. A delegation of northern pastors under the aegis of the national leadership of Arewa Pastors, a non-denominational initiative for peace in Nigeria, have expressed concerns over the increasing rate of insecurity in Nigeria. The delegation made this known today when they visited President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja. The president, however, commended the delegation for their comment on the country, maintaining that he does not discriminate on the basis of religion or any other guise. President Buhari also said the federal government is up and tight in its fight against insurgency in the country, insisting that the security of lives and properties of Nigerians are paramount to his administration. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai says the Nigerian Army will continue to sustain its commitment to Nigeria's security. Buratai disclosed this at the second edition of the 2018 Procurement Awareness Seminar held in Abuja with the theme Optimizing the Operational Capabilities of the Nigerian Army Through an Effective Procurement System. Buratai said the operational capability of the Nigerian Army depends largely on the availability of requisite hardware, highly trained personnel, and other essential resources.
The security challenges facing our dear country manifest in the forms of terrorism, insurgency, separatist movements, and banditry, among others. Thus, there is no gainsaying the fact that the operational capability of the Nigerian Army today largely depends on the availability of requisite hardware, highly trained personnel, and other essential resources.
In his address, Chairman House Committee on Army, Rimande Shawulu, said the National Assembly will identify with the Nigerian Army in its efforts to create a transparent and accountable procurement system that will support increasing operational responsibilities.
One major area that we have actually faced as we try to build consensus on the need to open new windows of funding for the military is the recurring issue and allegations of lack of transparency and accountability. No doubt the Army and indeed the armed forces have been in the eye of the storm with regards to the allegations, confessions, and investigations by anti-corruption agencies.
The Senate has reacted on President Muhammadu Buhari's approval of $1 billion for the purchase of security equipment to fight insurgency and maintain peace in the nation. A Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Ben Muribu, said the presidency cannot spend such amount of money except it is approved by the National Assembly. You will recall that the Defense Minister Mansudan Ali said President Muhammadu Buhari gave the approval for the purchase of more equipment for the military worth $1 billion when fielding questions from journalists after the president's Indo security meeting with all security chiefs. Still staying with security matters, Inspector General Police IGP Ibrahim Idris has reinstated Ali Janga as the Commissioner of Police in Kogi State. Janga was reinstated by the IGP after rearresting the suspect who escaped from police custody in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, last week. You will recall that the suspect in March 28, 2018 escaped from police custody after being paraded for illegal possession of firearms allegedly supplied by Senator Dino Malaye, prompting the IG to sack the commissioner. Benue State government has asked medical practitioners to address the health challenges amongst over 170,000 internally displaced persons taking refuge in 7 camps. Commissioner for Health Cecilia Ojabo discussed this to journalists during the flag-off of a 3-day medical outreach organized by the Nigerian Air Force Medical Corps at the Abagana IDP camp in Makadi. Ojabo said the medical outreach became necessary following the death of 6 IDPs, mostly children who were worst hit by the humanitarian crisis, starvation and malnutrition among other children in the camp. The All Progressives Congress APC National Executive Committee NEC says it will take its final decision on the party's executive tenure extension on Monday. National Chairman of the party, John Odige Oyego, and the party Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, disclosed this in Abuja at the end of a 3-hour meeting of APC governors elected in the National Working Committee of the party.
The governors, the National Working Committee of our party decided to sit and look at the issues that were seemingly dividing us. And I want to say to you, with absolute satisfaction, absolute pride, that all the issues that you have been commenting about in the last 2 days have been completely and totally resolved. We are back in business as one.
The party spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi on his part said the technical committee constituted to look into the matter will submit its report early enough for considerations.
To say that the meeting on Monday is to endorse congresses or begin to plan for congresses. We don't have any evidence that the committee is recommending that there will be congresses. The position of NEC is that those who are currently serving in executive positions at all levels in the party should, at the expiration of their tenure in June, continue in acting capacity. That position still stands. Now, when the committee submits its report tomorrow or when the NEC meets on Monday, we will now listen to the advice to be given to the committee, to be given to the party. Now, the NEC may now decide if the committee recommends that the position of NEC should be maintained, then there will be no issue. Then the president himself and those who have concern on whether the action that has been taken violates the constitution will have more confidence in the position we have taken. But should the committee recommend that the congresses be held, then NEC will consider the report at the same time and decide whether to reverse its earlier position or not. But as I speak to you, there is no evidence, there is nothing that suggests that the committee will recommend this way or that way.
You will recall that APC had on Tuesday constituted a 10-member technical committee headed by Plateau State Governor Samuel Long to advise its leadership on tenure elongation. Niger State government has approved the sum of 300 million naira for the payment of the West African Examination Council (WAEC) for 8 secondary school students to encourage schooling in the state. The State Commissioner for Education, Fatima Madugu, said schools are being deserted almost on a daily basis by children whose family can no longer afford to meet the cost of sending them to school. Amadugu also said the decision by the state government to pay the money is to offset the debt owed examination body by the immediate past government and to also pay the current fees for students writing the exam. Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria has rejected the new directive given by the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja on how lawyers should be dressing. According to the group, the FCT High Court had in a press release on March 28, 2018, prohibited the use of any apparel underneath wigs by lawyers and by extension the hijab by female Muslim lawyers. However, in a communique issued at the end of its National Executive Committee meeting in Benin, Edo State, on April 3, 2018, Milan rejected the directive, describing it as unfortunate, draconian, illegal, unconstitutional, and unlawful. In the communique signed by its president, Dr. Kamal Dawood, the body contended that the directive by the FCT High Court is at variance with Section 38 of the Constitution, which guarantees citizens' right to manifest their religion. The group also noted that the court's decision is contrary to the 2004 resolution of the body of benches, which allows female law school students and legal practitioners to use head cover underneath their wigs. Coming up in business, federal government seeks partnership with Ukraine to strengthen trade relations. Details of these and more after this break. Now in business news, the federal government says only 4,000 kilometers of Nigeria's 10,000-kilometer waterways is navigable. A secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who disclosed this at the Nigeria-Ukraine Trade and Investment Roundtable held in Abuja, said the federal government is seeking partnership with Ukraine to further develop its waterways. He also called for increased trade volume between Nigeria and Ukraine, which is said stood at $93.3 million as of November 2017. He expressed hope that with the visit of the Ukrainian delegation, the trade volume between the two countries will surely increase. Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, has supported the ongoing strategic discussions between the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and various consortium on the best possible funding option for the overhaul of Nigeria's refineries. PENGASN disclosed this in a congratulatory message to the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mekanti Baru, signed by the Association's President and General Secretary Francis Johnson and Lumumba Okubawa. According to the Oil Workers Union, the overhaul of Nigeria's refineries will help ensure uninterrupted supply of petroleum products nationwide, thus addressing scarcity in the country. The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, ASCSN, has alleged plans by the federal government to reinstate the suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Merun Gwozo. The body said feelers from the presidency indicated that President Muhammadu Buhari had been under intense pressure by some members of his inner cabinet to recall Gwozo, currently in suspension for alleged corrupt practices. You will recall that Gwozo was suspended after being indicted for alleged financial improprieties by an administrative panel set up by the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun. The association, which disclosed this in a statement by its FCT Secretary Isaac Ojemeke, said the alleged planned reinstatement will further dent the anti-graft war of the present administration. Former chairman of National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders at NAGAF, Segun Musa, has frowned at the new clamor of the Minister of State for Defense, Hadi Sirika, on the use of arms by Aviation Security Service, HABSEC. Segun Musa expressed his reservations in an interview with Superscreen while reacting on the proposal in Lagos.
It's unfortunate that at this present security challenge period, someone will be clamoring that we should also allow AFSEC to use guns. Immediately you allow such to happen within the AFSEC. Definitely you're also saying MPA security should also use guns. And if we begin to train everybody to use arms, then it's going to end up turning the country into more dangerous environment. We have the customs, we have the immigration, we have so many other security departments that are actually carrying out the job of ensuring there's absolute security within the aviation sector. And by the time we begin to ensure that move the motion that all security department must use arms, then we are taking a very dangerous step. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary. Yes, we might have some security challenges within the airport, but to me, it has not actually overwhelmed the security agencies we have presently within the aviation sector.
The former NAGAF chairman also speaks of the possible solution to addressing porosity at the airport.
I think the rationale being painted to the public presently by the Honorable Minister of State is that the airport is so porous. The other security agencies are not doing what is expected of them, but that is not enough. All we need to do to correct such deficiency is just to make sure that we call other security agency and we are able to give them a mandate to improve on their methodological approach in carrying out security work within that environment.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, on Wednesday expressed concerns over the increase in allocations to the three tiers of government. The committee said that there is need for strong stabilization programs to freeze the growth in aggregate expenditure. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele said the committee called on the Federation Account Allocation Committee to create savings needed to stabilize the economy against future oil price-related shocks. According to him, the Monetary Policy Committee observed increasing monetization of oil proceeds as evidence in the growing FAC distributions relative to the 2017 level of disbursement. At the end of its meeting, the MPC resolved that a quick passage of the 2018 budget would keep the fiscal policy on track and deliver the urgently needed reliefs in terms of employment and growth for the people, and called on the National Assembly to speedily pass the 2018 budgets. You're still watching Superscreen's as flagship news. We'll take a short break now, still ahead on the news. Syrian government forces on the verge of recapturing the last remaining rebel stronghold in Syrian eastern Ghouta. Join us for details of these and more after this time out.